She really likes her dance.
Good evening, everyone. It's come time to start. I want to welcome everybody to the program tonight, and we're glad for those who did weather the wind out there. There must have been some other insurance. So I want to talk a little bit about Mark Anthony tonight, and he makes it really simple for me. I started asking him a bunch of questions, and he said, "Here." It's all right here. So, we've all seen Mark Anthony on the 3ABN television, and he also does Smart Lifestyle television. He's a chef for some of the biggest names in show business, like Jack Nicklaus, Montel Williams, right? Jerry Brown, Eddie Murphy, Joan Jett, Rio Speedwagon, and several others here I'm having a hard time pronouncing. So, Mark Anthony's been around quite a while, and he does healthy cooking events in every single state in the country. So, let us begin this program with the word of prayer. Father in heaven, we come to you with great anticipation for tonight's program, that we may learn and understand how food affects our health and our lifestyle. And we pray a special blessing on Mark tonight as he presents, and that we will gain a knowledge that will last us in the years to come. Pray us for success. Amen. Okay, let's give Mark Anthony a welcome.
Yeah. Well, I feel like I already know everybody here, so it's like one happy family tonight. Yeah. Cold wind. What did I say? Cold wind, we'll do it every time. Last time we were here, like 5 years ago, this place was packed. Absolutely packed. And that cold wind will do it every time. Last night, we were at Yucca Valley, and we had about 35 people show up there. It's a lot smaller church, bigger crowd. And when I went there was 50-mile-an-hour winds coming through here. I don't know, yesterday, any of you caught that? It was just blowing my van back and forth. And I thought, oh, this is going to be not a good night. But up there was no wind whatsoever. It was just a beautiful, calm night. And weather does have a lot to do with it. But hey, I'm happy anywhere I go. And God says go. I'm like Isaiah 6:8, send me, I'll go. Amen. That's right. So, it's an upside down world, let me tell you. Been touring the country. We have done every state in the country now, since I was here 5 years ago. And got married since I was here last time. My wife's not here today. She's actually up at Andrews University, so and taking care of her 90-year-old mom. So that's a blessing. But yeah, her and I went to one of those Ross stores. You ever been to a Ross store? And they had a beautiful framed poster in there. I almost bought the thing. It actually said, "Never trust a skinny chef." And I thought, wait a minute now, shouldn't it say never trust a fat chef? I'm telling you, I don't know where they get these phrases from. I couldn't have said that. So I'm down 75 pounds. Now, back in Washington, I was probably down 60 or 50, 55. Yeah, so I'm down to a 38-inch waist, and the 38-inch pants are getting loose on me. So hopefully I can get into those 36s within the next couple months. That's what I'm really driving for. I've got a bean pot over here. And so far what I've got in here is black beans and pinto beans. Now what I did was I brought this to a boil. Dry beans, brought it to a boil and then shut it off. And then I let it rest for a few hours this afternoon. Then I drained the water and filled it back up again. So that's your fast forward to soaking beans for a day or two. All you gotta do is just crank on the heat and shut it off, and it will speed up the process. That's what we do in restaurants. So I've got black beans and pinto beans. We do need some flavor. So we're gonna do carrots, onions, and bell peppers today. And I like lots of vegetables. Of course, you know what you get when you mix onions and beans, right?
Yes.
Well, tear gas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a military joke. Yeah, and some more flavor though. We're gonna do some chili powder, some cumin, do some garlic, onion, a little bit of salt here. But what I want to do is share with you a little bit of a concept about how to cook with ratios. And if you start cooking with ratios, and you start looking at recipes, look at the ratios of different spices, and you're gonna see some trending that's very consistent. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do 1 part cumin, and then 2 parts chili powder. 1-to-2 ratio, 1-to-3 ratio, usually does it about just right. And you'll see that same consistency. Now I'm not making chili. If I was making chili, I would actually double or triple the amount of spice. But it would still be the same ratio. Because that's what a lot of your Southwest flavors have, that ratio. 1 part cumin, 2 parts chili powder. Now with the garlic and onion, we're going to do the same situation. I'm going to put 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion. Now, ooh, more? Okay. Now, that ratio is really good for a lot of your soups and sauces. 1 part garlic, 2 parts onion. And I know what a lot of you are thinking. Why do you put onion powder in there? Just put a whole bunch of onions in there. Well, the reason is because they taste totally different. The onions, raw, regular onions, there's actually 5 flavors to an onion, technically. You've got raw, translucent, golden, brown, and dark brown. That's the 5 official flavors of an onion. And every one of them tastes totally different. And then your powdered onions even taste different than the fresh and the raw and cooked. So that's why you can do different ones like that. And then we'll put a little bit of sea salt, just a little shot of that should do. And there we go. Now, if any of you use bulgur wheat, y'all like bulgur, B-U-L-G-E-R? This is bulgur wheat right here. Hope you're all hungry. A lot of food. By the way, this is a ratio situation too, because I have 1 part bulgur wheat, 2 1/4 parts of water. It's kind of like rice. You know how you do 1 part rice, 2 parts water? Depending on the rice, because some rices you need to go 2 1/4, 2 1/2. But the same concept as rice, if you add more water to it, it's going to soften it. Where if you put less water in, it's going to tighten it up and make it firmer. But I'm going to do some fusion cooking today. If you don't know what fusion cooking is, that's where you take different cultures and you mix them together. So we're actually going to add some soy sauce to this. Just a little. Nobody's surprised at that.
Yeah.
It's yeah, a little soda. It's a big pot. A lot of people are like, whoa! You know, but what you're going to have here is you'll have your Southwest flavor from the bean pot, and then we're going to top it with some of the Asian bulgur wheat here. So those 2 concepts, you know, put together give you that fusion cooking. So, all right. Don't try this at home, kids. Now, just in case you don't know too much about me, I grew up in South Dakota. Went to college up in Tacoma, Washington, up in UPS and Fort Stillwater College. I think it's called Pierce College now, up in Washington. And back when I was in college, I worked at about 100 different restaurants. And once I learned everything one restaurant was doing, I'd go to the next. Even if it was less pay, because I wanted to see what they were doing. And I just loved going into restaurants and doing that. I'd have jobs all the time. I'd go in a restaurant and show them my resume. And they'd be like, "You're a cook? When can you start?" You know? And, so it was real easy to get jobs back then. Can't do that nowadays. Went to go check out culinary art schools. Found out I knew more than the instructors did. So I never went to culinary art school. Yes, I do have all my fingers too, by the way. You want to know how to use a knife? Here, let me show you real quick. Crash course. We got time. Take your index finger, you're just going to point it down towards the food, kind of keep your finger pointed towards you. Now you want to make sure that the finger is where you're cutting the food. You don't want your finger up here by the handle, or the knife is just going to cut your knuckle off. And if you got your finger over here by the tip of the knife will catch the tip of your finger. So you got to have it where you're cutting the food. Now, as long as the knife never leaves your knuckle and the knife never leaves the table, it's really impossible to cut yourself. If you start going airborne, you know that you're going to have problems. So you just take it one step at a time, and you have total control here. And once you get your range of motion, after you've done this for a while, then you're going to get your speed lifting up the knife. But you got to get that range of motion first. And after your range of motion is locked in, then you can really go to town. So anyway, that's the crash course for doing that. Oh, look, the boulder wheat is boiling. We're going to get some stuff on the way back here. Because I am going to take this boulder wheat, and we're just going to set this aside. And in 45 minutes, we're ready to eat. I'm going to let its own energy do the cooking. So I don't have to worry about burning anything. And I don't have to use fuel cooking it. So it really works good that way. And then right here, we're going to make cheese out of potatoes and carrots. Yes, actual cheese out of potatoes and carrots. Now, some of you may have had cashew cheese. Well, the problem with cashew cheese, and I've made it many times and still do, but it's high in fat. And those cashews are really expensive. So this is saving you money. It's lower fat, so you're eating healthier, and saves you money, and it's really good, so you're going to love it.
So you left the peels on the potatoes, huh?
Yeah, did not peel the potatoes or the carrots. No. We want the skins on. I mean, I'll tell you about that later though, because I do it both ways quite often. So anyway, yeah, after college, I went to Las Vegas, and at the age of 24, I was the youngest executive chef ever of a casino I missed in Las Vegas. And 24 years old doing big events. My biggest event was 30,000 people for one event. Biggest series was 1.2 million plates of food in 90 days. Yeah, here's my dishwashing team for graveyard. Slowest day of the week. That's about what it would be. And of course, catering for all these celebrities. But then I started working for the federal school lunch program. And let me tell you, the federal school lunch program, I had two properties, juvenile detention and a school. Not one single time did we ever get fresh fruits and vegetables. Mostly what we got was bags and blocks of cheese, boxes of meats, a lot of pre-made stuff. We had the pre-made grilled cheese sandwiches and cellophane, and the burritos, and the chili dogs, chili dogs, and I call them cholesterol dogs. It's like everything loaded with cholesterol. And we're forced to feed that to the kids. And it has not changed much over the years. I did like what Michelle Obama was doing when she went into the federal school lunch program. Really rattled some people around and said, hey, we need to do something better for these kids. The problem is you did not have the intelligent people in those positions that knew enough about nutrition. And it actually ended up becoming worse, a lot worse. So great intentions, but horrible implementation is what happened. And I was up in Michigan last year. We did an event in a public middle school. Had about 100 people show up out of school. And they had these big, expensive milk posters everywhere. Taylor Swift with their white mustache. Got milk and all this stuff. And in fact, where's this article? I have an article here. Okay, here. This is from the New York Times, 2011. So just a couple years ago. Congress has officially declared pizza as being a vegetable on the federal school lunch program. Yeah. Tomato sauce. Lobbyists spent $5.6 million buying off Congress. And these people in the federal school lunch program, all they were looking at was dollar signs and how can we get money out of this whole great intention. And let me tell you, it got so bad. Up in Michigan, on their menus, I did a video for television, zoomed in on their menu for the week. They have pizza as the alternative meal every single day of the week. Here's their entree, or here's your alternative meal, pizza. Here's your entree, here's your alternative meal, pizza. And it was a different type of pizza every day of the week. Oh, we got variety. And they tally up as vegetables. So that they can give you the illusion that the kids are eating healthier, even though in reality they're really not. And it was horrible food. I don't know what's next.
A lot of people were bought off.
Yeah, it was all about money and hustle. I don't know what's next, but I'm thinking maybe we should take those chicken nuggets, maybe we could start calling those a grain. Maybe we should all buy stock in Tyson, because they're probably working on it. They're probably already lobbyists, saying, hey, chicken nuggets have got to be a grain, I wouldn't doubt it. So anyway, I started working for the Sodexo. I don't know if you know who Sodexo is, but they're the largest hospitality management team on the planet. 500,000 employees. Now I was an executive chef for Sodexo, and my job was to open up new hospitals. So they'd fly me into town, I'd hire the crew, train the managers, get the inspections done, get all the food coming in, take care of the menus and the recipes and the grand openings and all the scheduling, every department. And then they'd fly me off to another property. And I liked doing that. In between hospitals, I had 2 hospitals in Vegas that I was at. And sometimes I'd be there for a couple months waiting for the next hospital to open. And I'd usually just do graveyard, or most of the time I'd just work the doctor's lounges and, just to not be in a conflict with whoever's running the property. And, but here I was pushing 325 pounds, 48-inch waist, and I'm looking at myself saying, man, I gotta do something, or I'm gonna end up being one of these people in this hospital. All the doctors and nurses were saying, yeah, Mark, you gotta lose some weight and gotta get that cholesterol down. They said most of the people were in there because of the cholesterol and the saturated fats and the oils and their diet and everything. And I told the docs, I said, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna go 40 days without any red meat. And they were like, yeah, go for it. And I said, I will. I'm gonna go 40 days without any red meat. So that's what I did, 40 days, no red meat. Now the first 5 days was pretty rough. I was like, man, I don't think I can do this. But I stuck to it. Next 30 days I was fine. Had no cravings for red meat. And then all of a sudden, the last 5 days, I started craving red meat. It was like, one day left, I'm like, oh man, I called my friends saying, we're hitting the prime rib buffets. And I couldn't figure out the problem. How, after 40 days, could I be craving red meat that much? And I figured out the problem. Well, actually, I figured out the solution, okay? And that is that we need to make sure that our minds are in control of our bodies instead of our bodies being in control of our minds. See, this is what's going on out there. People are giving in to their bodily cravings in more ways than one, but especially when it comes to food. They just give the body whatever the body wants, whatever it craves. We've got to make sure that the intelligent part of our body is making those good choices on a daily basis. And the doctors, they were loving it. Dr. Suresh, he comes up and says, Mark, I won $100 off you this week. It's Vegas. They gamble on anything over there. And, but he's like, you gotta get off the milk and cheese. And last time I was here, we did a class on milk and cheese. That's what we did, hour and a half class. So I won't do that today, but what was it, Framingham Medical Studies, or what was Framingham? Where's my cheese? Cornell. Cornell University. They said if you're going vegetarian, so you're not eating any meats, but you're consuming milk and cheese, they said that's like going from 60 cigarettes a day down to 50 cigarettes a day. Yeah, so you're just not doing your body that much good. You're actually better off getting off the milk and cheese. Now that's Cornell University's quote. And so I told the doc, I said, I'm going to go all vegan, no animal products whatsoever. He said, go for it. He says, you got any problems, you let me know. So that's what I did. I went all vegan, no animal products whatsoever. But this time, I did not put that block wall out there 40 days later for me to run into again. I said, I'm just going to get on this path and keep taking steps. And I'll tell you what, within a couple weeks, I started feeling better. Within a month, I'm like, man, I'm losing weight, hitting a new hole in my belt loop. And that's when I really started studying. And, yeah, I get excited about this. Let me share with you my blood test. I just went to the doctor yesterday. My doctor's over here in Palm Desert. Yeah, and he does massive blood tests on me. Now this is my before and after here. My cholesterol, let's see, 60 pounds difference in between these two tests, which was before and after Washington the last time I was there. Let's see here, a couple years difference here. Calcium, let's see, protein, what am I looking for? Cholesterol. Used to be 263, probably well over 300, but I was already getting healthy. Now it's at 118. Triglycerides were at 274, now they're at 91. HDL went up the way it was supposed to, LDL went down the way it was supposed to. H for higher, L for lower. LDL went from 159 down to 59. Went down 100 points on the LDL. Everything on here is perfect. Calcium, 9.2. Actually on the high side. Doctor says, you're eating a lot of salads, aren't you? I was like, yeah, every day. That's where you get your calcium. Eat those greens. Didn't we have a big salad today? We had big salads this big today. And, you know, especially the dark greens. The darker greens are the best. Nobody's really going to have a problem not getting enough calcium. It just doesn't happen, you know. Which, too much calcium causes osteoporosis. You all know that?
No.
Yes. You ever hear those Boniva commercials and the lady on television or radio is saying, oh, make sure you drink lots of milk and eat lots of cheese, which is proven to be one of the causes of osteoporosis. So she's telling you to consume the products that cause the disease that she's selling you the drug for in the same 30-second commercial. Yeah. That's from my other class. Protein, 7.0. Exactly where it was supposed to be, according to their standards now, okay? You know, because their standards are too high. And just to let you know. Well, with protein, the universities who discovered how much protein the body needs took the highest amount of protein anybody should ever possibly need, and they doubled that. That was the recommendation of the World Health Organization, and then the World Health Organization doubled that. And according to the World Health Organization, the average guy needs 55 grams a day, the average woman needs 44. According to the World Health Organization, 44, so it should be 11 for women. National average in America is 120 grams a day. So we're doing 3 times the amount of protein we're supposed to be doing according to their standards, which are 3 times too high. Yeah, and now they know for a fact that too much protein causes kidney damage, too much protein causes kidney stones. This right here is from the National Library of Medicine, the federal government's website. And they know that renal patients that they put on a low to no protein diet live years longer than renal patients that they put on high protein diets. And they still put renal patients on high protein diets. It's like throwing gasoline on the fire. That's what they do. And here's the good one here. This is another one. This is from the Journal of American Medical Association, just last year in August. 26-year study. High animal protein is positively associated with mortality, while high plant protein is inversely associated with mortality. Even in people with multiple lifestyle risk factors, under every situation, animal protein kills you quicker, plant protein makes you live longer. It's just the way it is. There is a difference between those 2 proteins. By the way, bananas have 1.2 grams of protein. Yeah, you're not going to have a problem not getting enough protein. And let me tell you, I could sit here, I've got 5 of these books. I could show you mountains of data, mountains of facts, all about this. You know, with the fact that the people that eat a plant-strong lifestyle are the healthiest people on the planet. They live the longest. Y'all know about the blue zones and things like this. That are, you know, it is the healthiest lifestyle. But, you know me, sometimes I like to just put things in a practical way, without all the science. And I'm going to make some banana dressing here. Salad dressing out of bananas. So, let me ask you the question here. This will put it all in perspective for you. For the most part, what are the 3 major nutrients that society always tells you need more of? Protein, calcium, and vitamin D, right? Oh, you gotta get more protein, you need more calcium, you gotta get more vitamin D or you're gonna die. You know. Okay, so protein, calcium, vitamin D. Well, what are the 3 nutrients? Basically, the only 3 nutrients you get out of animal products. Protein, calcium, and vitamin D. The exact same 3. Now, isn't that a coincidence? And even though we have the highest consumption of animal products in the history of the planet, how can we still be the lowest on those exact same 3 nutrients? It's not possible. See, the reason we believe this is because we live in a fragmentized society. And as long as you hear things enough times, you're going to believe it. As long as you see things enough times, you're going to believe it. And the better the lies are presented, the more absurd the truth is going to sound. Now, and this is what happens. And I'm not saying that these people are lying because they're telling you the truth a lot of the times. But go to the grocery store. Look at the products that are out there. Everything says high in protein, vitamin D fortified, high in calcium. And you hear it over and over and over and over and over. And then your brains are thinking, boy, I must need more protein. I must need more calcium or vitamin D. And let me tell you, every person is different. You might need more vitamin D. If you're not getting out in the sunlight, and getting the vitamin D like you're supposed to. But you see where our brains are being indoctrinated by this illusion that is not true. And this is what happens. Look at the television commercials. Everything on television. Oh, clinical studies show that you need more protein. More than what? Do you know how much protein I'm getting now? No, but I know you need more protein. Everything is designed to say, you need more. You need more. I don't care where your blood tests are. I'm telling you, you need more because I'm trying to sell you this product. That's what they do. And this is the indoctrination. This is the thing that happens in society. We're just getting brainwashed by something that's not true. Yeah, your product has more protein, but I don't need it. I get plenty of protein. Okay, bananas. We've got some more ingredients here. Let me do some bananas and brown mustard. How's that sound? Okay, well that was kind of quiet. All right, how about bananas and red wine and vinegar then?
Sounds good.
Man, this is a tough crowd.
Sour.
It's non-alcoholic, non-fermented. How about honey? Is that honey's okay? All right, just say mine. Is that enough?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just listening to you now. You didn't take my advice on the first ones here. Oh, well, now you can do lemon juice too. If you don't like red wine vinegar, I'll put a shot of lemon juice in it. And my secret ingredient today is going to be the cumin. Boom. Well, it'll complement later on in the meal. So that's enough. And, and you got to put a couple drops of water. Just a couple drops of water in here should do. Just a couple drops. And, just like that, give this baby a blend. No, pretty much the bananas. So just like that, you made salad dressing out of bananas. And like I said, it lasts for weeks in the fridge. It's just fabulous. Now, of course, you got to understand, I teach concepts, okay? These ingredients is what you find in a lot of salad dressings, don't you? Exactly. So all I'm doing is using those bananas as a thickener. You can do this with any salad dressing. Take regular Italian dressing, put a banana in there, you got creamy Italian, just like that, with better nutrient. Kids don't like bananas. They'll never know they're there. Just put a banana in there. So it works really good. People think, oh, it's only for smoothies, but you can use it for a number of different applications like that. So, okay. Well, let me finish my blood test, or I'm going to forget. I'm a little hypoglycemic and ADHD and a couple other things I can't pronounce. They tell me I'm the David Asterisk of the kitchen. Is that, yeah, is he kind of the same way? You know, he's, He grew up 7 miles away from me. Yeah, so there must be something in the water up there, but yeah. Oh, here, glucose. Check this out. My glucose was 106. That's in the high zone, almost to that pre-diabetic, you know. And now it's at 83, right where it's supposed to be. And so many people, oh, this type 2 diabetes, oh man, this is brutal. Journal of American Medical Association, 50% of the population in America is now diabetic or pre-diabetic. 50%.
Most of them live on McDonald's and other.
50% of 300 million people?
Yeah.
I mean, that is epidemic proportions. And it's all because of diet and exercise. Well, except type 1 diabetics. But there's type 2 diabetics. There's no reason to be a type 2 diabetic except there's, you know, like a 1% hereditary or, you know, I might as well just call them type 1 diabetics because there is a very small percent. But 99% of them, it's all because of diet and exercise. And American Diabetes Association, 20% of type 2 diabetics get kidney disease. 65% of type 2 diabetics end up with permanent nerve disease and amputations. 65% of those type 2 diabetics are going to cut your toes off and cut your foot off, and the list goes on. 20,000 people lose their eyesight every year just from type 2 diabetes, and 75% die of heart disease or stroke. I mean, this is just epidemic proportions, and it's all because we're just. I'll show you how to reverse type 2 diabetes in a minute here. But let me finish that blood test and we'll forget.
I worked in the renal unit, and all but two of the people in the entire renal unit were type 2 diabetics.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing I was low on was B12. And it was at 329. It was in the right zone, but it was on the low side. So doctors had me do a B12 supplement. By the way, he did this thing here yesterday called a body composition analyzer. Did anybody ever heard of that? Yeah, they put an electrode, you know, that's electrically charged. Tells you your body masses and every arm, every leg, your trunk. I have 1.4 pounds to lose, and I'm in of fat, and I'm in the appropriate zone for my body weight. That's the high side. We get, you know, so I still got work to do. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, B12. I was low on B12. Now B12, just to let you know, 50 years ago, 75 years ago, nobody had B12 deficiencies like they do today. And it's like, well, why do we have B12 deficiencies today? Even healthy, vegan, plant-strong eaters, the healthiest people on the planet, did not have those B12 deficiencies. But now we do. And the reason is because we're washing our food too much. Yeah. I know you gotta wash your food. I understand the argument. But you gotta understand something. B12 is a bacteria that grows on living plants. And when you're peeling your potatoes and your carrots, you're actually peeling away B12. That's why I did not peel these potatoes and carrots. Even mushrooms, you know, had a lot of B12 in the dirt and stuff. So, back when I was a kid, we'd be out in the garden, we'd just rub the dirt off the carrots and eat them out in the garden. We weren't running inside, washing them and peeling them and cutting them and stuff. I mean, you know, and it's not just you, okay? The factories do it too. The factories will peel the potatoes and the carrots and turn them into B12 pills and sell it back to you. So they deplete you of B12, and then they sell it back to you. Yeah. In fact, where was I? California last year. Ran into 2 foreigners in 2 different cases, different cities. And they're healthy eaters, vegan, vegetarian, never had a B12 deficiency in their life until they retired. The minute they retired, B12 deficiencies. The reason, because they weren't working in the dirt. The B12 will actually absorb into your skin from the dirt. And in fact, there's quite a few studies out there. Kids that play in the dirt are actually far healthier than kids that play on a computer. And the kids that play in the dirt in those younger years will have a better immune system for the rest of their life. And just from those few years of playing in the dirt. So it's really important to, get outside in the wilderness and get dirty. Send the kids, throw them out there without their iPad. See what
When
happens.
we had a sandbox, we need sand.
Yeah, and here's the interesting part. Where do the cows get their B12 from? The grass and the roots and everything, that's exactly where the cows get their B12 from. And then they pass it along to humans. So that's why vegans, don't eat cows, then they end up having B12 deficiencies, but, and they're not eating like we used to, out in the wilderness. So, but I'm thinking about this, and I said, if it's that easy for cows to pass B12 on to humans, just from the grass that they're eating, how easy is it for them to pass along those dozens of injections that they get every year? Huh? Yeah. Especially those milking cows. A lot of those milking cows nowadays get more estrogen in 1 year than women produce in an entire lifetime. And it's in the milk and the cheese and the meat when they chop them up. Then you wonder why our kids are so messed up nowadays. Well, they're getting bombarded by all these, estrogens and chemicals and stuff. I mean, it's bad.
Boys are starting to develop breasts.
Yeah, and you wonder why they're messed up in different mental ways as well. Yeah, and
How about the preservatives?
the what?
When tomatoes are grown and they're not organic, they put all this, they spray them with this toxic stuff?
Oh yeah,
That's why I'm washing.
we're getting bombarded nowadays. Yeah, and that's why I said you gotta wash your food.
Oh, yeah.
I wash my food, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah, I wash all my food before it comes out here. Yeah. But anyway, I got to give you some strategies on how to get healthy. I don't want to sit here and just talk about all these wordy things. We need strategies on how to get healthy. And the first thing that you can do, probably one of the best things you can do, is reverse the way you eat and have your biggest meal for breakfast. Now in society, people have their smallest meal for breakfast, a bigger lunch, and a bigger dinner. And you need to turn that whole system upside down and have your biggest meal for breakfast, a smaller lunch, and then a smaller dinner. And when you do this, it does a couple really important things for you. The first thing it does, you're not going to be hungry all day long. When you eat nothing for breakfast, you're actually starving yourself all day. So you have to have bigger meals, and then you have your biggest meal before you go to bed. That don't even make sense. But you actually eat way too much food that way. Here in America, we just eat way too much. And if you have that biggest meal for breakfast, you're going to eat less throughout the day. Saves you money, because you're eating less. Saves you calories, because you're eating less. Plus, 0 for 3, look at that. That's just not normal. Plus, you're going to have more energy throughout the day. Let me tell you, I have more energy now than I did back when I was in my 20s. When you have more energy, now you're going to be more active, right? So that's burning more calories. But here's the big plus. As you get older, you're going to end up with better muscle tone, better joints, better ligaments, because you're more active. And that's what helps give you the longevity of a healthier, more vibrant life in your older years. It's a win-win-win in every way, shape, and form to have that biggest meal for breakfast. I do a lot of oatmeals in the morning, a lot of breakfast burritos. We make waffles. We got waffle machines, because we'll make 30, 40 waffles at a time and freeze them. And then we pull out waffles when we need them. And we do that all the time. So yeah, anything for breakfast. I'll eat lasagna for breakfast if I need it. Anything, just have a big breakfast. My brother Paul, I'm the youngest of 6 kids. And my brother Paul, every one of us is 300 to 400 pounds. I got 2 brothers over 400 pounds. Paul was at 420 pounds or something. He had a cholesterol level of 1,000. Had a heart attack, went in the hospital, they put in a stent. Next morning for breakfast, they gave him bacon and eggs. 3 times they did that to him. And I was like, finally I went up there and flew up there and stayed with him for 3 weeks. Put him on an all vegan lifestyle. No animal products whatsoever. His cholesterol was at 900 when I got there. And 3 weeks later, his cholesterol was down to 300 and change. In 3 weeks. And he's like, I can't believe this. He started feeling better. He started getting color back in his skin. He was white as a ghost. Started getting more color back in his skin. I said, look, I lost 60 pounds at the time. And I said, this works. And Now, what I did for him is what y'all need to do. I changed his environment and made it for success. You've got to have a successful environment if you're going to have success. You know, I turned his refrigerator into a full-blown salad bar. Made him throw out everything that was unhealthy. Oh, and he was mad. Throwing out buckets of ice cream and cheese, and I mean, he was like, oh, I just won't buy it again. I said, no, you have to throw. The first day I was there, we did this. And I said, I've got to fill up your whole kitchen. No, I said, oh, don't worry, I'll pay for it, but I need space. We're getting rid of everything. And he had trash bags full of garbage. And turned his refrigerator into a full-blown salad bar, showed him how to make chickpea salad and tofu egg salad and all these things that are really fast and easy to grab and eat, you know. Produce. If you're going to bring home produce from the grocery store, wash it before it goes in the fridge. Why are you going to put dirty produce into a clean refrigerator? If you do that, your brain is going to be saying, oh, I don't want to mess with it. I got to wash it. I got to clean it. I got to cut it. I got potato chips, though. I'll grab my potato chips. You know, that's what you'll do. Where at least if it's washed and hopefully cleaned and cut and prepped, then your brain is saying, fast food, I can just grab and go. We are in that fast food society. We have to have the food ready to eat. So set up your refrigerator. I set them up with a full-blown oatmeal station. I've got one at home, got one in my trailer when I'm traveling. Everything you could ever imagine for oatmeal. Did it for my dad, he loves it. But like, what I do is I've got 3 shelves on mine. And on the top shelf, I've got regular oats and quick oats. I've got steel cut oats. I got grits and cream of wheat, hard red winter wheat, and brown rice in my oatmeal station because I do crock pots with those. Hard red winter wheat, brown rice. Make crock pots overnight. The next shelf, I've got containers like this with raisins and craisins and dried blueberries and almonds and pecans and walnuts and ground flaxseed and wheat germ and hemp powder, all these fun toppings. And then I've got spice jars in there. Cinnamon, allspice, nutmeg, apple pie spice, you know, pumpkin pie spice, all these fun toppings. And then I've got sweeteners. I've got my brown sugar, my stevia. Stevia is my favorite. Maple syrup. And you can make oatmeal in 5 minutes. Just boil some hot water. Take any bowl, fill it half to 3/4 full of oats. Add whatever toppings you want, and then just fill it with boiling hot water. And you mix it up, you set it aside, 5 minutes later it's ready to eat. So no more microwave messes, no more dirty pots on the stove. You got a big group, you just make a big bowl. Or you let everyone make their own, and you can have a different oatmeal every day of the month. Because you've got this oatmeal station with all these varieties, and we've got granolas in there. Lots of variety. You know, you need variety that you can get immediately. And let me tell you, it works. Gotta have your oatmeal station.
What do you mean, you have oatmeal in the bowl, and then you put everything, and you let it, the hot water you put in, bruise it or mix it?
Put your oats in
Without
there.
putting it on the fire?
Yeah, you just boil. I've got a boiling pot
Yeah,
with a little button, and within 1 minute I got boiling water.
okay.
And just pour that in the bowl, give it a stir. And you can do this with the steel cut oats.
Oh, okay. Just regular oatmeal.
But they do have the new quick steel cut oats. And I used those this morning, yeah. So you can use it with the quick steel cut
And
oats.
then 5 minutes, let it,
Just give it a stir, 5 minutes later it's ready to eat. It's great. The best way to do oatmeal. I have a video. In fact, you can go on my website, just click over to my YouTube channel. I have videos on how to set up your refrigerator, so you can watch the videos, how to set up your freezer, how to set up your oatmeal station. That's all right on we're going to get it on our website eventually, because my tech guy's working on it, but you can go right to my YouTube channel. It's one of my most popular things that is aired there. And, okay. Now my other brother Wayne, though, he's not that interested in getting healthy. He's got a cattle farm in Wyoming, so yeah, and he weighs about 400 pounds.
Our grandson is the first one up, and he fixes his own oatmeal that way.
Yeah.
He puts a lid on top of the bowl.
Sure. Yeah, it's so easy that way. Yeah.
Preschool.
He's something else. My brother Wayne, my wife and I, we went to go visit him, And he's got a cattle farm, he's got a feed truck, and he goes around the back of the house there. Those cows hear that feed truck, man, they all come running. And those cows can move. I'm like stepping back though, because these are big animals. And my brother just goes right up to those cows and scratches their ears and talks to them. Hey, little cow, how you doing? Just like their family, gives them a big hug and stuff. Then he decides which one he wants to eat.
Oh, at least they're getting the right kind of food, eh?
Yeah, he's pretty unhealthy. He called me though, this was not too long ago, Wayne, he calls me. And he said, Mark, we've been eating veggie burgers for the last few weeks. And I thought, cool, baby. My brother Paul has lost over 100 pounds. And he's got his cholesterol down to 170. And I thought, he saw my brother get healthy, he sees me getting healthy. I got my sister and Prescott getting healthy now. And I thought maybe Wayne was going to get healthy. He's eating veggie burgers. And then he said, Mother Cow, I named him Black Bean. And he said, next month we're having black bean burgers. And I was like, no, that doesn't count. Yeah, and you got to make sure you're a label reader too. This got a couple minutes to go. Just a couple minutes and I'll be ready. I finally quit eating potato chips. I used to eat potato chips till about maybe 6 years ago. I finally quit eating potato chips. And, well, the dummy label says 0% cholesterol. I thought, oh, great. Then I looked at the fine print, and it's made with milk and whey and cheddar and cream and all these animal products. Finally, I said, that's it. I started buying raisins. I get raisins and craisins and dried blueberries and almonds and pecans and make my own little blends for snacking. And I found out I would have went through $50 worth of potato chips at least before I go through a $10 jar of nuts. So I'm snacking a little healthier, saving a lot of money. But you don't want to eat the Planters dry roasted peanuts anymore. These are now made with pork.
No.
Ooh. Didn't know this one. This is the new label. Actually came out 2 years ago. New label. The old label used to say peanuts, peanut oil, and sea salt. New label, peanuts, sea salt, sugar, MSG. Now it's got the MSG in here. Gelatin, which is your pork gelatin. It says K gelatin, then it's kosher. You'll see it on like yogurts. It'll say K gelatin. That means it's made with like seaweed. The K gelatin I think is a seaweed or beef bones, things like that. Still has about 10 more ingredients in here. And the front still says made with pure sea salt. Even though there's 15 ingredients right there. That's what they get away with. Let's see here. Hormel chili, 98% fat-free. Put that selling tactic on the front. This was actually 27% cholesterol, 51% sodium, 190 calories, but there's 2 portions in a can too. So it's actually almost 400 calories for a can. And I love it. This is chili. They put a salad on the front label. They want to make it look really healthy, so let's put a salad on the front label of a can of chili. And Jif with omega-3. See, here, how many times have you seen omega-3 everywhere? And you got people going out there buying gallons of fish oil, drinking tablespoons a day. Oh, I must need omega-3. Well, yeah, but you can get it out of rice. It's not like you have to go buy gallons of fish oil. And I love this though, Jif with omega-3. This one's actually made with anchovies and sardines.
Oh.
Well, if you like anchovies with your peanut butter sandwich, it's already in there. So it might save you a step or something, but that's what they do. Here, calories is 190, calories from fat is 140. So this is 75% calories from fat. This is 70% calories from fat. Now the best doctors in the world will tell you that your calories from fat on a daily consumption should be at 10%. I got lots of doctors that will say that. Even a few that say 5% of your daily consumption would be calories. Some are wiggling up to 15. But the bottom line is if you're eating stuff that's 50, 75% calories from fat, 100% calories from fat, these are weight gainers. 120 calories and 120 calories from fat in a tablespoon. And this is your type 2 diabetes, okay? This is. For years, doctors have been trained to believe that type 2 diabetes is a carb problem or it's a sugar problem. It's not. It is a fat problem. And if you eliminate the fats and the oils, which means get rid of the animal products with all the fats and oils and get rid of all these oils, you're going to get rid of your type 2 diabetes. That's just the way it goes. Now, oh, but it's a good fat. It's coconut oil. It's a good fat. It's olive oil, right? That doesn't mean go drink it by the gallon. I know people that buy coconut oil and eat 4 or 5 tablespoons a day because they heard it was good for them for some stupid reason. You know, it may be a good fat, but when you take it in mass quantities, you're going to end up with type 2 diabetes. And they're going to chop your legs off, you know. I don't mean to make a joke out of it, but okay, there's a good book you want to read. It's called Reversing Diabetes. I put it on the back of the flyer there. Dr. Neil Bernard. And what happens is we have these valves on every one of our cells, in our pancreas, and in our kidneys and livers and everything. And when the valves aren't working, they're not moving because there's a blockage. So you need to have the insulin, which forces the doors open, and forces them closed, and forces them open so your body's working right. Well, if you just get rid of the blockage, which is the oils, you don't need the insulin. And usually within 2 to 3 weeks of going all vegan with no oils or fats, you're completely off your meds. And I don't want to, think like, oh, oil is just the worst thing you could ever eat. I mean, eat the olive, not the olive oil. Eat the corn, not the corn oil. Eat the coconut, not the coconut oil. That's a better option. And the reason let me share with you though, so I can put this in perspective for you. I'm going to get this cheese going here. There's a book that I read called The End of Overeating by David Kessler. Now, he was the head of the Food and Drug Administration. Double doctorate, real genius guy. I mean, this guy was a genius. Busting people for doing illegal stuff. He was busting people who were employed by the dairy industry while they were working for the federal government, passing the dairy industry's agendas through the federal government. Lots of illegal things going on. And but he found out that the manufacturers of food hire scientists to find out how to make their food as addictive as possible. Every manufacturer does it. That's why they're changing these labels. You ever eat something? You put it away, and within 30 seconds, you're opening it up to eat more. Specifically designed for addiction. He said every fast food restaurant hires scientists to make that food as addictive as possible. Even a bun alone at McDonald's is specifically designed for addiction. Even restaurants like TGI Fridays and Chili's, they hire scientists. And I'm just quoting the book. And I was up in Michigan. We did an event at some church up there, and we had 2 ladies that came to the event. They're scientists working for Myers grocery stores, a big chain like Walmart up there. Their job is to make all their deli and grab-and-go food addictive, and whatever chemicals to give it longer shelf life. That was their job. They go in this lab and test and test and test until it's so addictive. That's their job. Okay, now what they found out is that there's an exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt. And if you get that exact combination of sugar, oil, and salt on any product, it will trigger your endorphins to desire that product. Even if all you do is see a picture of that food a month later. That's how addictive they can make the food nowadays. And so what's happening is we're getting bombarded by oil. National average is 10 pounds per person per month of vegetable oil alone. That's over 1,200 calories a day, the national average of vegetable oil alone. That's not counting all your meats and your cheeses and all your fats from all your products and things like that. And can you see that with the bombarding of the processed foods that are getting jacked up with oil to make it addictive? This is all why we have this type 2 diabetic problem, is because everybody's eating the manufactured foods, they're eating the fast foods, and then they're thinking that the oil is okay, and it's the cause of type 2 diabetes. So anyway, do the homework on that, you'll find out exactly what I'm talking about. So, all right, potatoes and carrots. We're going to do the onion here and the garlic. So I'll do the 2 parts onion, 1 part garlic. And this is McKay's chicken style seasoning. Does anybody use that? It's pretty good. It's all vegan. Do you guys have a grocery store over here that carries this natural something?
Clark's.
Clark's. Do they have that? I'm wondering if they do. Clark's is really good. I was over there last time I was in town. I might have to stop by tomorrow. Nutritional yeast flakes. I'm sure they have these. Derivative of molasses, high in B12. And I got it. Popcorn. My wife puts this on popcorn. I haven't talked about this. Okay, if I did hot air popped popcorn with nothing on it, nobody's going to want to eat it. Now, if I did hot air popped popcorn with just salt on it, nobody's going to want to eat it. Or if I did just olive oil on hot air popped popcorn, you'd be like, what is this? I mean, you wouldn't even know what it is. But if we did salt and oil, like that salted butter, right? Oh man, you be picking every little half kernel. Wait, there's another one right there. I got it. Oh, half of one. I got that. You go, right? You just pick out every little piece you could. And if we did the kettle corn with the sugar, oil, and salt, you'll go down to the grocery store at midnight and buy another bag. Because it's addictive. It's just the way it is. Oh, you've done that, huh? Okay. We're going to get some of this potato water in here. And I just want to get it right till it's about level. That should do. Might be a little thick. We'll try it. Right here. It takes about 1 minute to do this, though. Might be a little thick. I'm going to have to get some more. All right, here we go. Just like that, made cheese out of potatoes and carrots. And now this does have some brown specks in it because I did not peel the potatoes and the carrots. But I was at my sister's house over in Prescott, Arizona here, and she had a whole bunch of football players coming over. So we peeled, somebody mentioned, we peeled all the potatoes and the carrots. None of them knew that it was vegan. They all thought it was that cheddar cheese for nachos. And let me tell you, this is a little on the thin side. This is a go-to recipe for you to use over and over and over. It's potatoes and carrots. It's one of the healthiest things you could ever eat. Make big batches of it, freeze it. If you freeze it, when you thaw it out, you'll see some water separation. And all you have to do is re-blend it, or I just take a wire whip and just whip it right in the pan. Now if you put it in the refrigerator, which we've had in the fridge for weeks without it going down, I don't recommend that because I don't know what your temperatures are like. But it's just got a long shelf life because it's just potatoes and carrots. It's durable. And but if you refrigerate it, it just melts right back in the cheese. You know, there's no whipping or anything. And but yeah, you can use this for queso dips. Hit it with green chili, salsas. You want to do some potato cheese soup, broccoli cheese soup. There's your base right there. Macaroni and cheese. Just take cooked macaroni, you put this in there, boom, you're done. And if you want to put some breadcrumbs on it and toast it in the oven, everybody will think, wow, you did a baked macaroni and cheese. And it's done in 5 minutes. You know, so you'll really love this. I mean, my wife and I, we take this pot and we put our steamer in it and steam cabbage and carrots and potatoes and broccoli and kale and everything and plate it up and then just pour the cheese over the top. And it is we do that for breakfast. I mean, it's just because it's high energy. This is your energy food. Now let's see what this is. This is our bulgur wheat. 45 minutes later, steaming hot, ready to go. So what we would do here is you have your bean pot, your soup, and then you put a little bulgur wheat on top. This is called a 2-component soup. You got 2 components, that means you get 20 bucks for it in a restaurant. Yeah. Well, 3 components, you know, like put some peppers on there, you get $25. 4 components, you get 30. That's what restaurants do to take a relatively inexpensive soup and get top dollar for it. So, yeah. All right, we're going to see if this watermelon's any good. Because last night it wasn't. This is the last watermelon on the planet. Maybe I should sell it. I got $5. I hear. No takers? Okay. Yeah, this is going to be very difficult to get watermelons for a couple months. Looks good. Okay. Yeah, the other one was just completely collapsed inside. So, all right, where am I at? Right here. Okay. Yeah, my mom, she didn't get you many watermelons either. I was like, they're so expensive, and she didn't want to bring them home from the grocery store. That was the big issue. Hey, we carried our groceries home. Or she'd be like, there's so much room in the fridge, and they're so tough to cut. And I was like, come here, let me show you how to cut a watermelon. Which, by the way, they do not teach you this in culinary arts school. So I'm going to get this out of the way. You'll notice anytime I'm cutting anything, it's nice to have a big cutting board, by the way, but get everything out of the way that you're not going to use. So the only thing left is the product that you're going to be serving. And it keeps a clean environment and lets everything work right. Now we'll do some slices sideways. Once you got it here, you're good to go. Do some slices. Now, of course, if you're going to do this at home, don't put your hand on this side, okay? Keep your hand on top so you don't go slicing your fingers off. And then you do slices this way. And this is just like a checkerboard. You make these stripes as big or as small as you want, and then you go this way. And just like that, literally in 1 minute, you got your entire watermelon cut up. How's that? Easy enough? I should have been a cook. Yeah. Watch, the next time you have a fellowship meal, everybody will bring watermelon. Yeah. If you can get them. I should be able to find some, I just haven't found them yet. I was hoping, come south and get some watermelons. Last time I was here, they were like 12 to 14 bucks a piece, though. They were really expensive. But yeah, make one. Good. Oh, there's, hey, one more book, then we can eat. One more book here. This is called Counsels in Diets and Foods. Really good book. It's got a lot of tidbits of knowledge all the way through it. This one here, cooking may be regarded as less desirable than other lines of work, but in reality, it is a science in value above all other sciences. Thus, God regards the preparation of healthful food. He places high estimate on those who do faithful service in preparing wholesome, palatable food. And the ones who understand the art of properly preparing food and who use this knowledge are worthy of higher commendations than those engaged in any other line of work. So if you're doing the cooking at home, you just got a raise. Think about it. Biggest meal for breakfast, you're eating less throughout the day, saving you money. Plus breakfast is the least expensive meal of the day. You go out for lunch, it's more expensive, right? Dinner's like way more expensive. So you might as well you're going to save a ton of money. Give you that higher income into the household. Hans Deal did studies with 100,000 cases. Found out the national, or the average savings of a Western meat-eating diet person who goes on a healthy, plant-strong lifestyle, the average savings is 40%. You're going to save a ton of money. And and she continues here, this is because it is so inseparably connected with life and health that cooking is the most valuable of all gifts. And the reason I point this out is because what did the devil go after with Adam and Eve? Food. Apples? Appetite? Satan goes after the body. Because Satan knows first you get the body, then you get the mind, and then you get the spirit. How many times have we heard that phrase before? Body, mind, and spirit. It's in that exact order. He's going after our kids' bodies. Before they're even of age to make decisions, he's attacking them. Nowadays, with 150 pounds of sugar every year, the oil, the fats, the animal products, the ice cream, they're just getting bombarded with the GMOs, and who knows what is going to happen with that. I mean, they're getting bombarded. He was attacking our bodies before we were ever even born. He's attacking the body because he knows the progression. So all we're doing is reversing the process. When you start getting healthier physically, you're going to be healthier mentally, and then you're going to have a better connection with God. It is all connected in such a mighty way. Framingham Medical Study, I think it was Framingham, they did the studies and found out when people go on a plant-strong lifestyle, you get that animal fat off of all your taste buds, then your taste buds start working the way they're supposed to. You get all that animal fat off of all your blood cells, which makes your oxygen, you have to have the right amount of oxygen in your blood. That's your filtering system. If you don't have the right amount of oxygen in your blood, you can't filter out these harmful particles. So that's one of the biggest things, is the oxygen in the blood. When you're loading up with all these saturated fats and oils, and animal part, your blood is coated so it doesn't get oxygen. And then you get all that animal fat off your brain cells. And when people go vegan, plant strong, they actually end up with higher brain activity. That's their quote. My quote, it just makes you smarter. And we just need to make better decisions, make better choices when you go out to eat, make better choices, of what you're going to bring home from the grocery store. And I could be in Vegas making top dollar, but God has just inspired me to get out in the communities and inspire some of you to become that inspiration. So if you're living a healthy life now, get out there and share it with people. It's an epidemic of unhealthy people out there. And if you're not healthy now and you start making changes, let me tell you, people are going to see that. And they're going to say, wow, what have you been doing? And you can be that inspiration to your loved ones and your neighbors and your friends and your coworkers. And I can tell you story after story of dozens and dozens and dozens of emails that I get. And when I come back to places, one guy up in Vermont, New Hampshire, he came, a cook, chef guy, he came to one of my cooking shows. And I didn't think nothing of it. 3 years later, I come back there. He went to a CHIP program right after that, ended up joining the church, got baptized in the church, married a lady from the church. Now he's the head of the health ministries at that church. And he invited me to come over, and then he told me the story. I get there, and he's like, oh wow, I had no idea, But this couple over in Bakersfield, California here, him and his wife and 2 kids decided they're never going to go to fast food restaurants again. And in a matter of a year and a half, 2 years, in between programs when I saw them again, they had lost over 200 pounds between the 4 of them. Yeah, and I get letters all the time of people that have just really transformed their health, and they're so much happier. And I'll tell you, I'm so thankful that God taught me a better way to eat. And so let's eat. Oh wait, we were going to do a drawing though. Let's grab those tickets, because we're going to have a drawing to see who's going to do the dishes. Oh, you didn't know what we were drawing for? Oh my.
Dead silence on there.
Okay, so I got 6 drawings here. You can just kind of let anybody draw names. My first one's this little inspirations book. The odds are pretty good tonight, by the way.
Yeah.
Helen Thorin. I guess the odds are pretty good to do that too. This is my testimony book called Sin City to Simplicity. So you can let anybody pick names. Yeah, let anybody pick names. Marlene Ellen. Marlene Ellen. Okay. Marilee, Social Security number 1134255. This is my newest DVD, just came out last week, called The Cutting Edge, How to Chop Like a Pro. So, And that's Jean and.
I told you I was gonna. You're skipping one. Here you go.
Okay, now this is a four disc DVD with 12 one-hour programs on it called Baby Steps to an Amazingly Healthier You. Clark.
That's me.
Oh!
Renz.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we're good to go.
That's me.
And I got one more.
One more here.
One more. And this one is Lorraine. Lorraine, is that you? Okay, that's my gluten-free, soy-free, corn-free, sugar-free, calorie-free cookbook.
What is it, just water?
Well, of course, there's no recipes in it.
Oh!
I mean, calorie-free, come on. But it does have lots of good notes in there, and then you can put recipes in it. Yeah. So. And you got the donation time? You got the donation?